Dear chess friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm very glad and excited that one day before Olympiad starts and everyone will be focusing on this great event, I'm just in time to introduce a new material on my website. So this time is very, very special. It's a work by FIDE master Orcoin. Well, I assume not many chess players familiar with this name. It's understandable. His rating is not very high currently, but he's focused on opening work, and I have been working with him for a long time. Now, by the way, you can find his material also on Modern Chess platform, where he published last year some interesting stuff as well. Now, it's his work, but of course with collaboration with the author of this channel. Everything is checked, approved. There have been a few changes, but what is special about this, it goes very, very deep, and you'll find some lines that have not been played yet, and I'm pretty sure you will be covered for many, many years ahead. Now, the material is black repertoire against King's Gambit and Vienna Game. Now, I hear a lot from my students when there is a suggestion to study e4, e5, and people say, well, you know, I'm not worried about main lines. Of course, it's easy to study because there are a lot of high-level games, but what to do about King's Gambit? What to do about Vienna Game? It seems like very sharp lines, and seems like white is getting attacking chances. So here's the solution, and you will be surprised how very surprising lines, not very popular, so it's kind of like a new theory in my opinion. Very, very interesting ideas, and I hope you enjoy. And as always, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It will help me to get more material and spend more time on the YouTube channel. Hit the notification button, like, comment. I'm trying to answer every comment as far as I notice it. And let's go. So, e4, e5, as I mentioned, in this file, it's very special. Usually I provide only one specific line, one opening, but here there will be coverage of two, King's Gambit and Vienna Game. So, and you see it's actually interacts with one with another. Now, after f4, which I think, well, obviously used to be popular in, like, I don't know, 19th century, but now we have Jan Nepomniachtchi who is playing this consistently. He has a Chessable course, so this is something that if you're an e5 player, you have to be ready, no questions about. Now, you're probably familiar with the main lines, which are ef4 and d5, but here our choice is knight f6. A rather surprising move, but it's actually one of the main lines. Now, there will be coverage at this point, 7 white moves. So, everything is covered, and you know, those who play King's Gambit, they can strike with some surprising ideas, like, I don't know, let's say the move d4. It doesn't work, but, you know, that's like sometimes the style of players who are ready to play King's Gambit. Now, everything will be covered, of course. Now, main line, I would say, so there are 3 moves that are main here. So, first of all, knight f3. And what is surprising here, like the well-known main line with some high-level games, if I'm not mistaken, Anish Giri played this ef4 in this position, and e5, knight h5. That's kind of like the line, but it's very sharp, and I mean, knight on h5, not my style, let's put it this way. So here it comes, the idea of, or he plays bishop e7. Incredible, there is only one game here. And the move looks strange because, well, pawn on e5 is hanging, and well, of course, we are not really sacrificing, and the point that after fe5, we take knight takes e4, and the play goes on here. And so it's interesting position. There is maybe one safe line for white, but we comfortably equalize, but all rest, there are many, many lines we can take over. So this is one. Now, the game that I mentioned, the only game in this position actually featured move knight c3, very logical. And what is happening here, we have the opportunity to strike with d5. And basically, what is happening, we most probably transfer into Vienna. Vienna game. So after f5, knight e4. So that's old main line of Vienna. And I'll explain why it's all main line. So, and with the point being that like queen f3 instead of knight f3. Now this is the latest trend, but knight f3 is like statistically top choice. You'll find a lot of games. Again, coverage 6 moves. You will be covered in all directions. Now queen e2 is the main move. So there are games, high level games recently. Black can play knight takes e3. That is the main move, but I like f5, and we both like f5. And it's actually, when he sent me the material, I was surprised how it was like pretty much similar lines to what I planned for black, what I suggested to my students and so on. So we play f5, very interesting move. Like we would be happy, of course, if ef6, knight f6, we remove a very annoying pawn on e5. Now, if after f5 he plays d3, we don't take, we play knight c5 still, and it's getting the really sharp. Knight c6 comes, sometimes knight e6, always idea d4, many lines so that black takes over. So this is one. Now what we are getting in King's Gambit, let's say if white plays fe5, which is a very high probability that you'll face this move, knight e4, and now in this position we are threatening queen h4, so many moves would just lose the game to queen h4, and many moves are covered as well. But the main move is obviously knight f3. So question, what we are doing with our knight on e4? There are two options. We can play bishop e7 and still it's fine, and it's fully covered. And the point that after d3 we play knight g5, not knight c5, which would allow d4 and tempi and so on. So we eliminate white knight on f3, and then of course we want to strike in the center d6, and black is doing fine. There are no problems here. And knight g5 immediately, actually it works as well. And it's pretty much the similar ideas, and there are many lines that, again, if white tries to be like fancy original, we will take over. If white plays the main line, d4, knight takes f3, queen f3, queen h4 check. So we force endgame basically, other moves covered as well. Queen f2, and d6, and slowly but surely we equalize, and it's just very convenient. Actually, pretty simple play, develop pieces, trade pawn on e5, and so on. So that's the line. And now talking about Vienna, of course, high probability move knight c3 will come here at this point, and what we do with this pawn on e5, we keep it, we don't take on f4, we play d5, and now we have the initial position of Vienna game. Now, with the main line, it's pretty well known. Those who study theory, they know that fe5, knight e4, that's the starting position. I mentioned knight f3, but queen f3 has been trendy recently with some fascinating play here actually for white. I know you'll find texts where or a little bit skeptical about this move, but because he finds like really good solutions, but you can find a lot of players playing queen f3. It's also has been recommended by Gotham Chess, so many players can play this. And now I thought in the beginning that f5 is a good move, and it's a really good move. It's a main theory. Now another good move for black, which is played quite often on the high level, knight c6, temporary pawn sacrifice, and so on. But well, at some point I noticed this move, and actually that's what Orr came up with. So bishop e6, developing, it's actually pawn sacrifice, knight takes e4, d takes e4, queen e4, and we play knight c6. Now in this position, actually so far played by 3 grandmasters with black, black scores tremendously. Now obviously Orr analysis will take you beyond the theory, existing theory, because I think it's pretty much always came as a surprise to white, and white collapsed in many games. And so we have a very, very serious investigation here. As I mentioned, you will be covered many years ahead. So now the main move, without any doubts here, knight f3, the most challenging move. And now we play bishop d5. So in this position, There have been 2 moves only played, Queen f4. Well, actually 1 move, Queen f4, which is allow black to take over very quickly with this fancy stuff. G5, Queen G3, H5. And the reason, of course, that we can afford this, since black has the opportunity to castle queenside. Exciting play, might be a great surprising weapon, and also reliable system. So this is a great combination. Now, the main move, Queen e3, so that's a novelty. It will be covered extensively, very, very detailed, and you will be ready to face the best move for white. And, you know, hopefully enjoy our work. Guys, once again, I want to mention that in this file, you will get basically 2 openings in one basically database. So there will be 6 different files spread between 3 King's Gambit and Vienna Game. I think it's a great idea. It's some kind of present before Olympiad for chess players. I know everyone excited to see these rare lines, and very detailed, as I mentioned. Sometimes I felt like it's too deep, but you know, you can always stop at some point that you're satisfied, and then let's say you prepare for the game and you see the opponent play some specific lines, and you will have extremely deep analysis of this line. So it would be very, very helpful. So it's just up to you how you study. I mean, it's not necessary for you to go like all the way in depth, 25 moves. You can stop at some point, you're satisfied with the position, you study the idea, and that's good enough. It will be very fascinating, pretty much new ideas everywhere, very, very surprising ideas. As I said, great surprising weapon in both openings, King's Gambit and Vienna Game. And at the same time, it's not something surprising and you just play one game. It's very reliable. We have not discovered any specific problems for black, so everything is covered far beyond the existing theory. So you will be settled for many years ahead. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm looking forward to hear your feedback, and I think as every chess player, we are looking forward to great Olympiad, and I'm looking forward to see you once again on my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.